Owls aren't just wise, they are fierce and probably one of the most accomplished aerial predators of night. These birds can launch pinpoint attacks and take down the toughest opponents, like a snake, hawk, or even an eagle. From a 270-degree rotating neck and silent flying ability to a spectacular eyesight and hearing ability, these birds are designed to hunt and kill while being stealthy. If you want to see owls in action, we have got the 12 most gruesome owl fights ever recorded on camera that will blow your mind. Number 12. Owl vs. Crows. We all know how cunning and pesky crows can be. These cheeky birds will take on any creature, no matter how big or dangerous they are, all thanks to their numbers. You see, crows are infamous for gathering in huge numbers while dealing with a threat, and things aren't any different when they go up against owls. But taking on an owl is not an easy task because these birds are expert hunters. Let's see what happens when these two collide in an epic face-off. This young barn owl has been literally cornered by a crow here. The barn owl seems frozen in fear as the crow gets in its face. You'd think that the owl, being a bigger bird, would somehow retaliate against the crow, but it just sits there, frozen. A murderous mob of crows are targeting the owl in this clip. Fortunately, this owl hasn't been cornered like the last one, and it knows that it's highly outnumbered. The only logical thing to do here would be to live to fight another day. So, the owl makes a run for it. But the crows knew this was coming, as their entire gang immediately chases after the owl and even tries to take it down mid-air. The owl successfully dodges this attack and flees. This here is one shrewd and lucky owl. Number 11. Owl vs. Snake. We all know that owls feed on snakes. Although they don't actively seek snakes, they will happily hunt one if available. Given their appearance, it shouldn't be too hard for an owl to handle an angry snake. These guys seem to be wasting no time as they spring right into action after coming face to face with each other. The owl quickly grabs the snake with its strong talons and tries to immobilize it before going in for an attack. The snake shows off its fangs in an attempt to scare the bird, but this owl just doesn't seem to care. The snake makes a last-ditch effort to strike, but the owl anticipates it and avoids it easily. A few moments later, we see the owl emerge victorious from this fight with a dead snake in its beak. Number 10. Owl vs. Hawk. Hawks are one of the aggressive and fearless birds of prey out there, so naturally, these vicious birds don't take threats lightly, and messing with them isn't really a good idea for any animal. But owls are so badass that they just don't seem to care. Take a look at this hawk couple sitting in their nest peacefully, except these raptors don't have the slightest clue that their peaceful night is about to be ruined by an eagle owl. From the pitch black darkness emerges two glowing eyes, and before these hawks even know what's going on, the owl swoops in, grabs one of the hawks, and flies off. This great horned owl has been visiting the nest of a red-tailed hawk for a few days now, but this is the first time that the hawk has caught the invader red-handed. Needless to say, the hawk doesn't seem pleased about this uninvited guest. It rushes to its nest and attacks the owl as soon as it arrives. Both engage in a serious battle involving brutal kicks. This red-tailed raptor wisely chooses to retreat because clearly it's no match for the owl. Number 9. Owl vs. Eagle. Eagles are one of the largest birds in the world, which is also the reason why they are at the top of the food chain. Considering the fact that these enormous birds prey on comparatively bigger creatures, such as monkeys and sloths, taking on an owl shouldn't really be a problem for them. But owls have an advantage over these massive birds. Their broad wings coupled with their very light bodies makes them exceptionally silent flyers. This makes it harder for any creature to notice them as they swoop in to make their move. This owl seems to be chilling in its nest, except this is not its nest. The nest belongs to a fierce bald eagle. The eagle attacks as soon as the invader lands and pins the owl. The owl tries to fight back, but fails. Things get ugly as the eagle starts kicking down with its claw-like talons, which are capable of dealing severe damage. Just when it looks like there is no way out for this poor owl, the eagle backs up for some reason, giving the owl just enough time to escape. Number 8. Owl vs. Raccoon. Similar to some owls, raccoons are nocturnal creatures that love to mess around at night, but how would their intelligence fare up against an angry owl? This lucky raccoon was looking around for food when he came across an owl's nest with a warm egg in it. His aspirations are cut short by the owl as it appears out of nowhere and charges towards the raccoon. The owl delivers a hard strike with its talons and forces the raccoon to flee at once. This raccoon has learned his lesson, and he surely isn't coming back anytime soon. This owl has grabbed a rat and stashes it on a tree before flying away. A raccoon quickly rushes in to grab the carcass, but the owl returns and almost knocks the invader down. The raccoon tries a couple of times more, and the owl is able to defend its meal successfully. But eventually, the raccoon is too persistent and makes off with the rodent, even as the owl objects. Number 7. Owl vs. Pigeon. Pigeons might appear to be goofy, but the truth is, these birds are extremely gifted when it comes to navigating skills. Now, owls might have a legacy the same as pigeons, but the one thing they know very well is to hunt. Unlike pigeons, owls are designed to be predatory birds, and they are experts in taking down prey. This pigeon enters a barn owl nest, where 2 owls currently reside. Right after the pigeon enters the nest, both its residents seem shocked as they immediately start attacking the pigeon with their sharp, hook-shaped talons. This pigeon is in a losing fight, but it still tries to fight back. The 2 barn owls dominate the fight as they wrestle it out in the cramped nest. Even though the pigeon that's inside is trying to fight back with all its strength, it's no use against these constant and strong hits. In the end, the pigeon manages to fly off with its life, but it might not be this lucky the second time around. The pigeon in this video have made the mistake of laying their eggs inside an active barn owl nest. They are about to find out why this is a mistake very soon. When the pigeons are resting at night, an owl comes into the nest to claim it and starts attacking the pigeons one by one. It seems furious as it ruthlessly keeps on attacking all the pigeons. It grabs the pigeon's neck with its beak and crushes it. Even though one of them flies off, the other seems to be a bit stubborn. But the owl won't accept no for an answer. It attacks the remaining pigeon and finally forces it to leave the nest as well. Eviction successful. Who knew barn owls could be such savages? Number 6. Owl vs. Rat. Rats have been a massive headache for mankind even before the bubonic plague. Even though we might not like them much, birds seem to have evolved a taste for these animals. Owls in particular are known to actively hunt rodents and are known to be very good at it too. Even though you can't really tell where the rat is in this frame, it becomes more evident once the owl dashes in and catches the rat. This is one very fast owl. This rat is foraging around on the ground, but unfortunately it has become a target of an owl that's about to swoop in. Even though the owl stealthily dives in at full speed, the rat hears it coming in the nick of time and runs away at the very last instant. Number 5. Owl vs. Buzzard. The buzzard is an opportunistic predator bird that is capable of taking on a variety of prey. From small mammals such as mice and vole to other small birds, these expert hunters will feed on anything. Buzzards aren't above stealing food from owls too. The barn owl in this clip has just scored a mouse and was headed to feast on it when a buzzard appeared out of nowhere. This buzzard must be extremely hungry because it goes straight in for the owl's meal and attacks it mid-air. This brawl then quickly turns into a tug-of-war contest as both the birds start pulling in their direction in an attempt to claim the food. Both of them hit the ground, and we don't really see what happens after that. Eventually, the owl flies off without its catch. The buzzard must have won this duel. Number 4. Owl vs. Rabbit. Cute, fuzzy, and cuddlesome. That's how we see rabbits. After all, they're one of the cutest creatures to ever exist. But owls might not agree with us because to them, rabbits are nothing more than a tasty meal. Rabbits usually run and hide when they see an owl coming for them, but this rabbit has other plans. Even when the owl swoops down to attack the rabbit, it doesn't run away. The rabbit dodges the first attack swiftly and just stands there. It looks as if the rabbit is mocking the owl by looking into its eyes, but the owl is having none of that. He flies back for another strike, but the rabbit successfully dodges that as well. The rabbit in this video has just been attacked by an owl. It tries to fight back, but the owl has a firm grip on it. The owl pins it down with its strong, sharp talons and starts crushing the rabbit. As it struggles to stay alive, the rabbit tries to free itself, but that proves useless. The owl pecks it a few times just to deal that extra damage. Soon, the rabbit gives up and dies. This intense altercation is then interrupted by a human, and the owl flies away. In the end, the person's interference saves the bunny's life as it scampers off in a while. Number 3. Owl vs. Falcon. Falcons are known for their precision and speed. These predatory birds are one of the fastest creatures on the planet. Peregrine falcons can easily reach speeds of up to 200 kilometers per hour when they are diving down to catch prey. These birds are excellent predators, but so are owls. What do you think will happen when a falcon and an owl clash? This peregrine falcon is caring for its young ones in the nest. Since there isn't any potential threat, the falcon decides to leave the nest for a moment, and that is when things go awry. Moments after the falcon leaves, a gray-horned owl raids the falcon's nest and starts attacking its younglings. Without their parents, these young birds are completely helpless. Hearing the commotion, the falcon rushes back to its nest and attacks the owl inside the nest. Both exchange a few blows before the owl realizes that it has been cornered. The owl quickly retreats and flies out of the nest, but the falcon isn't done yet. It follows the owl and chases after it. Number 2. Owl vs. Bat. Owls aren't the only creatures with the ability to see clearly at night. Bats have that superpower as well. That, combined with their echolocation abilities, gives them a clear edge over owls in pitch black darkness. Even though you can't really see it, there is a bat sitting on top of that lamppost. But an owl that's nearby notices the bat and decides to attack it. The owl comes around at full speed and successfully grabs the bat in its talons. But unfortunately, it crashes into a tree. In slow motion, you can see that the owl held on to the bat as it tumbled down the tree and into the ground. It's hard to tell if this owl has the bat at the end. This owl has already caught a bat and is trying hard to kill it, but this bat isn't giving up soon. It struggles as it tries to strike the owl with its sharp claws. The owl has a really tight grip over the bat and tries to keep it pinned down. Number 1. Owl vs. Kestrel. The kestrel is one of the smaller members of the birds of prey family, but don't let their body size deceive you, because these birds are equally good hunters. These birds pack a predator's fierce intensity inside their small bodies. But how would they fare up against owls? In this video, a kestrel is attempting to take over a barn owl nest while the female owl and her eggs are still in the nest. As soon as the kestrel jumps in, it attacks the female viciously. Even though the kestrel is trying its best, it becomes obvious that it's no match for the owl and decides to retreat. When it comes back for the second time, the owl jumps up and grabs its foot as it's peeking into the nest and drags it inside the nest. The owl also rips a bunch of feathers from the kestrel's breast and constrains it. The kestrel struggles to get loose from the owl's hold and somehow manages to escape with its life for the second time. But this pesky invader isn't done yet because it comes around for the third time. Except this time, the male barn owl is home too and seems pissed. The female protects her eggs as the male fights off the kestrel. The kestrel puts up a good fight yet again, but is overpowered by the huge owls. Although the owl keeps moving it down with its strikes, the kestrel manages to escape once more. Do you know of any other owl fights that deserve to be on this list? Which one is your favorite out of them all? As always, if you enjoyed watching this video, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe to our channel. And yes, don't forget to share this video with your friends. If you're new to the channel, just hit the bell icon and turn on all notifications after subscribing to the channel. That'll be all to keep you updated with all the interesting videos we post on this channel. We'll see you soon in the next one. Bye!